All right, ladies and gentlemen, got your watch list coming into August 12th, 2019, and this is going to be the moment of truth for the markets, the Fed, and the trade war. Hi! Oh, all right, but we got a few things to talk about. We're going to go over the keys for tomorrow, what to watch out for, as well as the plays that we made coming into this week. There's a lot of movement at the close that have to even do with some of the keys and industries that I want to watch coming into next week. Then we'll also cover a few of the plays to watch out for tomorrow. So pretty straightforward. If you guys do not know, make sure you are subscribed to this channel. We post the watch list every single day, so we'll keep you posted with this, and we're going to recap the plays we make on stream. And if you do not know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It is in the description. It's in the comments. We hope to see you there in the morning. So now that we got that out the way, we can talk, though, about the most important thing. You need to post your watch list below. IV is a result, not a cause. I'm just keeping you on your toes. Okay, but what we are looking at coming in tomorrow, what makes this the moment of truth and what makes this so important is we are waiting for escalation with China in the trade war. And now why it's going to be so important, because we have already seen the trade war escalate kind of at an unprecedented pace where it's happening very, very quickly. So what happens tonight, what happens with the currency, and how things move forward from here will kind of give us a gauge of what to expect here, both next week and moving forward, and kind of with the rest of this whole trade war, currency war, whatever. A lot of different things are coming to play. So getting straight into it, let's look at the keys for tomorrow. What I want to talk about, well, I was looking at the Robinhood plays, but watch for the yuan levels. And now that is the levels that which they fix it at and at which it depreciates, and the velocity and how it depreciates. That had some importance, and some people even asked over the week if there's a direct correlation. And again, if it keeps moving, if it keeps weakening really fast, you will see markets react. But understand, the longer it stays in a range or a level, you will see less and less reactions from the market and investors. However, it doesn't mean that investors in the markets can be underestimating the effect, but you're not always going to see the move happen right away. And a good example is watching gold and silver. And again, I have those up here on the watch list as well, because during all of these, it's like during the worst time ever, gold popped up, but it seemed to hit the highs before the event started to pop off. And then a few days later, that's when it kind of had its moment of glory. Keep an eye on that and just watch the currency levels, but now also watch them in relation to the dollar, and watch for both strengthening and weakening of the dollar. One thing that we saw that was very weird, and again, I'm still waiting for this to, again, kind of have that same effect with the yuan and gold, and kind of it's gonna take time to follow through, and that is gonna be the key of what we're watching here tomorrow. It's when the dollar weakens, and we should expect the yuan to strengthen, but the issue has been the yuan has been weakening while the dollar has been weakening, so it's offsetting any weakness on both currencies. Now it's kind of to see who's going to pull ahead and which one is going to be remaining the stronger or weaker currency. And again, that is now affecting everything else, and even the pound. And now coming into Brexit, that is just right around the corner in October. So keep your eyes out for this stuff, because what those currencies do is going to start getting very, very important, even to this level. And again, every single day is important. As long as you see volatility in currency markets, that is what is going to have a big effect on the market. But once you start seeing currencies kind of be less volatile, then you're going to see the same thing kind of follow through to the markets. Now, we are also watching for this, and by the time I'm shooting this video and get it posted, it's probably going to happen shortly after. We need to watch out for what China is going to do. They usually don't respond over the weekend. They don't respond on Friday. So what happens coming into Monday, that is what's going to be important to keep our eye out for. And that's going to be one of the main things here, which we can't cover, but we could anticipate it. And again, how that plays out both when the news drops, or we'll see what they do, if there is anything, a reaction from them, or if there isn't, but then how that gets carried over into the futures and then pre-market. But again, the main thing is going to be, will there be escalation? And if there is escalation, look at the velocity in the moves from the days last week that we did see any of the escalation. You know, here was Monday, here was that big, or it happened really, I think it was Friday, then carried over Monday, and then the days there was no escalation, you saw what happened. But then even kind of more hints at escalation, Huawei stuff, you could also see how the market took it. It could even gap down and come up here to open. But the key, like we even said from last week, is watch how we operate within these ranges. So keep your eye out for that. And again, like I said on the other set, side, if there is no escalation, look for the days where we had no news or we didn't hear too much, and it could be pretty slow. So keep your eye out for that. But beyond all that, though, the next thing, if you guys saw that video I made, watch out for bonds. That is going to be the next big key that's going to play into TLT, that's going to play into how we're going to make our second entry. And again, I said this over the week, it's easy to see on stream when I make a lot of plays, and I love it when you guys are doing good. At the very least, I know you're learning, whether you're making or losing money. Hopefully you're even learning to be more diligent, and you know, not every single play is going to be for you, but any play where it's like clear that there's going to be a move, I've made it very, very clear on these watch lists. I've talked about it multiple times. So again, we're waiting still on our entry for TLT, and that's what I'm preparing for. And I want to watch bond movements this week, and specifically the 2 and the 10 year. There's about a 15 basis point spread between those. If that starts to deteriorate and fast, I think that is going to have a huge importance. And if we do see any sort of inversion on that on the yield curve, I think the market will be very, very quick to respond negatively to that. So watch that now. And as far as stocks go, and even again, we don't know how things are going to play out, but one thing that really has got my attention has been McDonald's, and I think that's going to be an important one to watch. Just in general, of you guys could see how it's performed regardless of what the market has done. You know, you could even take a look. Here is the 5 days. So there's the S&P. You could see it there since Monday. It dropped once. Everything ever since then, it recovered almost within the second day and just kept going on from there. They've already had earnings, so it's not as if people are playing in anticipation for anything. This is just rotation, and this is showing you something, and this is what I want to keep my eyes out for. I want to see if there's rotation into these value stocks, which types of dividend stocks, and then also, is it a risk on or a risk off attitude? Because at the end of the day, if people are rotating into certain industries or companies, it could show, you know, why they would want to rotate in the type of climate. But then again, if it's really bad and liquidity is really drying up, you will see a total risk off scenario, and that will affect every stock. So McDonald's and some stuff like Starbucks and Walmart, those are going to give you a better attitude of idea of the climate. So watch out for those. And then in line, because it has to do, again, a lot of what I'm talking here, bonds, global currencies. And again, as it relates even to, we'll see what the news, how it draws investors up and down. Gold and silver is going to be important. Now, it's very hard to see them on the prices or really to find the best entry, but I want to watch, and really specifically what I'm looking for. I like SLV a little bit better because silver, this is how kind of the waves work now, even with some of these commodities during times like this. It's already made kind of, this is one pop, this is the second pop, and if it pops one more time off of any of these concerns, that's where it's going to get crazy. So I want to wait, and really what I'm looking for is something like this. We're going to see how tomorrow plays out, but when you get 3-4 days in a row, kind of, this is what I've been waiting for with TLT, and TLT just kept going, and now it's holding that 140 level. But when it pops up again, or if it could hold here, the contract prices will go down in value, even though it's holding the prices up here, and that's what I want to look for to find an entry on it. But again, it's very hard. You know, I have to find a really good risk reward to be able to play these, so I'm going to be pretty patient on them, and sometimes I've been too patient, but I'm going to keep these on watch this week for sure. So there's that. And the last thing, and I think gold and silver falls under some of the bigger industries, and again, just even in line with rotation. But the next industry I'm going to watch for this week is going to be biotechs and healthcare. They seem to be a little bit insulated from any of these other effects, and now we've already seen it. I've said this last week, but we're seeing it even more and more. There's court cases, and that was one of the plays we made on Friday. And there's also just so many things, even down to policy, that could come into play. So watch these because they kind of have their own strategic advantage in this climate. So that's it. Now let us get into the plays, baby. So I want to cover the plays that we made last week. First one, we did this Amgen, and this play was crazy. I got it at close. I got that August 16th, 210, and I bought it for 5 cents. And some people, I got some messages, and we could talk about it on stream. Maybe, hopefully you guys are there. Hopefully you're watching this video. But people chased this, but we turned that play, went from like $5 to $200 in minutes because of this pop, and there was something to do with the market makers and how to really find those contracts. I'm going to make a separate video, but the thing with Amgen, the news was that they won this patent case, and now it affected Amgen, and we saw instant reactions at the same time. We haven't been able to confirm, but Abivi's won, and I bought a play there on the Robinhood account. Let's see, which ones did we get? We got Eli Lilly 130 for September, and that was like $12. And then we also got a September 75 Abivi, and I think I don't know if we paid 18 for that. So it came down It did go up a little bit at one point, but after between all three of those, I think I spent like 15, and 5. I spent like less than like $45 to play all three of those. Got one contract. Amgen is a bigger stock, and we have the August, coming in the next week. But beyond that, though, the fact of getting September, I think it could be good. But watch them. Essentially, they had very similar reactions. Either they could benefit now through either getting in the space or getting a license from Amgen, whatever it is. I don't know too much about this, and that I could easily admit that. That was kind of just catching the news. I saw the volume and how it was moving. It looked definitely like something was up. I saw a court case, and going through the option chain, we were really able to find a cheap option there. And then again, it started with Amgen, then it started to spread. You could see the sympathy plays, and we were able to get them. And I think, watch, we'll see really what happens Monday. They could come down. That usually does happen here. But if it is going to be something real big, we could expect to see those to rip. But either way, I would watch those and watch all three of those. I like them. Another one we grabbed at close, and I grabbed like a $5 option for September, again at like $7.50 though. But CTST is a weed company, and pretty much I'm playing this based off of hype. People were saying it's a potential buyout, so if I could get a $5 option for September, a buyout, normally I would buy shares, but I said I'll try it on the Robinhood for $5, no commissions, no nothing. I mean, I'll take that and we'll see what happens. But if this catches hype tomorrow, a lot of people like to, when the market's kind of confusing and they don't see stuff, they kind of like these plays. So watch out for that one. And then we got Amgen, then another two plays. Watch Caterpillar. I think they've been just kind of showing relative weakness. Even if we pull it up on the 5-day now, you could see now again the difference between McDonald's and then something like Caterpillar, which should have held up, but obviously has more risks to the trade war. And since Monday, they're actually lower than any other point where the market's still up. So that could either be leading or lagging. So that offers an opportunity for either more lows or for a really good bounce play comparatively. So I'm going to keep my eyes out on that. And then lastly, we got a UNH call. Again, I'm liking the healthcare space and everything else, but now it's finally, they've been dropping, but for the most part, they've pretty much held since the same price last week. I said this on stream. If you noticed, we played UNH a lot week after week, but then it kind of just slowed down. The music stopped. And I think that hopefully had an effect on the options to make them cheaper, because if now bigger moves start to return to this stock, those options are going to be lower priced comparatively than when the volatility starts picking up. So I think we got like 260s on that for this week. So watch all of those. And then moving on, we already covered silver. We already said watch McDonald's. I like how that is. Same thing with silver. I want to watch with TLT. How it holds this 140 level is going to be important. And now the contracts, if there is big moves with the bonds, another week of decaying, and depending how Monday performs, that could kill the shorter term one. So again, anyone holding those, you might want to think of what you want to do now if it's August 16th. I've already sold premium on one. I have some other ones at like higher levels on older butterflies I've done, but either way, I'm going to keep my eyes on this, and I think that could be a good play. Moving on, we're going to have UVXY. Same thing is going to apply with them, and now UVXY has already suffered the first kind of crush from a move like that. So good thing we have the 100-day already up here. You could kind of see it's going to play out one of two scenarios where it could experience another crush here for another day or two, then start that rise up. And again, this is going to be a harder one to profit off of. When UVXY doesn't spike, it's really hard to profit off of. That's why I still like those September spreads. So if there is a crush and those get cheaper, I may look to add more of those, or it could have the crush drop off and lead to the next short volatility moment and just benefit off of a melt up. Either way, keep your eyes out for it. I like both of them. I think they're good. I'm going to be watching Home Depot. We still got that one play. I think it's a crucial moment for them here too, leading into earnings. Hopefully it does run up. I think earnings is the next week, so this will be the pre-earnings week. So that's why I kind of like it. But now those contracts are now weeklies. So how tomorrow performs will be very important. And I think even Monday or Tuesday, we will see the climate. If they go down Monday or Tuesday, it could be a good time to average down, or it's just going to take off tomorrow or the next couple of days, and we'll kind of have a better idea from there. But I'm going to keep my eye for that. And then McDonald's, I already said. And lastly, I did a play there. You guys saw that earlier here. Qualcomm, I think something was happening with them. I grabbed a call and a put on both sides for like $55. It seemed how they were moving, but even Apple, you could see Apple at close. I'm still expecting they will be at the heart of any retaliation. That's one of the nuclear options, I think, with China. But watch them, and even how Qualcomm was just, it was kind of tripping out with the volume and everything. I think I was a little jumpy on it, but in general, I've been kind of saying that all week, and I've seen Qualcomm a lot. I think it's operating very, very weird, and I'm expecting something to happen, maybe news, a court case, whatever it may be, but keep your eye out for them. They're sketching me out again. AMD as well too. Now AMD, we have those September puts still. That's why we got time on it, and we're going to watch. If it does show the same strength from last week off of those deals that go up, that could be a very, very unexpected bull rally. And again, that could be some of those contracts that just are still pretty cheap in the morning. That will be a good frog. Or again, watch for the decline. If it does, whenever it does start to give up, it could start to give up a lot, or if it responds to any other volatility in the market. There's that. And then lastly, Lucan is the second to last one, but I like this. They got earnings coming up. I thought the float was bigger, but it seems like it's not too bad, but the prices already went up like 45% in the last few days. So I'm going to wait for a red day to see if it just gets out of hand. I guess I missed the boat, but I'm going to watch this coming into earnings. And again, we talked about this. It's just how an IPO is, even though there's just so much uncertainty. The options are, to a certain degree, inherently mispriced because you don't know what the numbers are going to be out. We don't know how to value this thing, but that's why I usually like them, just by seeing supply and demand and seeing that people are willing to pay more than the IPO price, and just how it all plays out. I think it's going to be an interesting one, so I'm going to keep my eyes out for that. But for me, I have to wait for better pricing. And again, if they're inherently mispriced, you don't know what to pay, but I don't want to pay double when it was half off 2 days ago. So there's that. And lastly, the Wall Street favorite, it seems, Beyond Meat. I still think this thing is going to die, or it's at a very precarious spot. Either way, we're going to watch how it plays out. I still have those puts. If I do average down, I will let you guys know, and I'm still keeping my eye out for that. I want to see how the prices and how the movements start to play out tomorrow and relative to the market. But that is it, my friends. I'm going to see you in the morning. I better see your watch list below. Drop your thumbs up. Get a good night's sleep. Get hydrated. Do all that good stuff. Let's go.